Coming up, I'm going to reveal to you the biggest thing holding back your progress, and then how to achieve breakthrough in your professional life. It may not be what you think. And of course, I'm going to coach you up. Let's go. Helping you make the difference that you were born to make. That's going to help you make plenty of money, but you're going to experience more meaning than you ever have in your life if you just simply do what you were born to do. And I'm here to help. So to that end, and this is going to step on some of your toes, but I promise you, it's like going to the chiropractor and you get a good pop, and it might hurt in that moment when they put the pressure on you, but within seconds, it just feels really good. That's what today's opening session is really going to do for you. Some of you, it's going to make you uncomfortable, but it needs to happen. So what's the biggest thing holding you back from progress? And by the way, this isn't just a professional application. This is in any area of your life. This could be in your health, decisions you want to make in your health, decisions you want to make in your relationships, decisions you want to make professionally. What's the biggest thing holding back your progress? The answer? People. If you aren't where you want to be, I can guarantee you that the number one factor holding you back from whatever that desired future is, it's people. I want you to sit with that. I didn't say it's the only factor, but I'm telling you, it is the overwhelming factor. I know this from my own experience. I know this from being 48 years of age and watching a lot of people never meet their potential. And as I look at their life and I hear their frustration, and believe me, if they give me the entree, they give me the opportunity, you know me, folks, I'll point it out. But the people they're spending time with, most time with, are the factors holding them back. But don't take my opinion. I've said this over and over and over on the show, and I'll say it over and over and over again. The longest study in the history of the world on the impact of relationships on our lives, still ongoing. It's now, I think, nearly 80 years old. And the University of Harvard, or Harvard University, has done it, Harvard University. And this is the big takeaway. 95% of your success or failure. So look in your life right now. If you take inventory of your life, successes that I've had, failures that I've had. Harvard University and this study found that 95% of our success or failure is directly related to the people we spend the most time with. So we could truly throw all success books away. You'd never listen to my show ever again and get what you need out of it right there. I mean, I don't want you to stop listening and watching the show. I don't want you to stop reading, but at the end of the day, I want you to grasp how simply profound this thought is. And it's not a thought, it's a reality. My success in any area of my life has largely to do with the people I spend the most time with. So, how do we determine if we're around the right people? How can we really pinpoint the right people and the wrong people? Well, we start with the wrong people. So let's just look at our lives, shall we? Here we go. Here's the question you ask to really begin to figure this out. Who do you want to be? Answer the question. By the way, I highly recommend you write these things out. This is a powerful exercise when you can journal this. Just get it out of your head and write the question down. Who do I want to be? I want you to look in the future. Who do I want to be? What's the kind of person that I want to be? In other words, how do I want people to see me, view me, talk about me? I don't mean all this vanity crap. I mean character. What kind of person do you want to be? That's the first question. Second question is, where do you want to go? The first question, who do I want to be, is about my character, the type of person I am. Where do I want to go is, what do I want to accomplish? What results do I want to put in this world? Let me tell you what I know about the human condition. You could take someone from any continent in the world, any religion, any political belief, doesn't matter who they love, and quite frankly, how they identify. I don't care. Take all of that stuff and you strip it away. And here's what I know that we all share in common. We want to make a difference. The age-old question, why am I here, is trying to get to that. Really, the question when a human lays awake at night and says, why am I here? Or, what should I do with my life? Do you know what's underneath that question? The question behind the question? It's, what difference do I want to make? Because I can tell you this, as a public figure, and maybe a whole lot more people know my name than know your name, I can just tell you it doesn't matter. I'm a 2-time best-selling author. Nobody cares. I don't even care. It didn't change my life. It was cool. But I can tell you this, success to me is not defined by the achievements I make. Success is defined by the contribution I make in the real lives of real people. I'm blessed to have people sitting in the lobby today, listening, watching me. I have people who follow me on social media, who read my books, who write nice notes. That's success, is that I've maybe made a little bit of a contribution. I've made a difference. But that pales in comparison to the difference I want to make in my personal life. So, once we identify who we want to be and where we want to go, you got to ask yourself, the people that I'm spending the most time with, are they helping me become that person? Are they helping me get where I want to go? Or are they holding me back from who I want to be? Or holding me back from going where I want to go? Well, then what, Ken? I'm not telling you got to have this big confrontational breakup. Hey, I was listening to this guy, Ken Coleman, the other day, and he says, I need to break up with you, man. You're bad for me. Nobody wants to do that, and I got good news. You don't have to do that. But let me tell you what you do. You move forward, they will fall away. When you begin to go, who do I want to be as a person? Where do I want to be in my professional life, financial life, spiritual life, physical life, whatever? As I've determined this is where I want to go, who I want to be, and I begin to move forward. And as I begin to move forward, watch this. Those people will fall away. They'll try to hang on to you for a while. They'll literally be you'll be dragging them. But if you keep moving forward, guess what? They let go. It's kind of like the family vacation. You ever try to put a family vacation together? Like multiple people, my mom and dad, my brother. And you try to invite everybody, go, hey, we're going to the beach. This is where we're going. And inevitably, somebody's schedule doesn't work out. What do? You don't cancel the vacation. You go, hey, sorry you couldn't be with us. I'm going to the beach, baby. And that's the mentality. So tomorrow, we're going to talk about the specific right kind of people that you want in your life to help you become who you want to be and get where you want to go. Don't miss that.
Do you know what you were born to do? In order to get hired at a job you love, you need to get clear on your talent, passion, and mission. That's why our team created the Career Clarity Guide. In just a few minutes, this free tool will walk you through a process to discover what you do best, that's your talent, the work you love to do, that's your passion, and the results that matter to you, your mission. Then you'll feel more confident throughout the job search process. To get started, go to kencoleman.com/clarity.
I get asked questions all the time. I'm guest on television shows, radio shows, podcasts. People ask me questions all the time, about success in your professional life and all these types of questions. I get these questions all the time. And every once in a while, I'll get a question like, what's one thing we can do? Or, 3 things, and Again, I get that. It's a good, solid question. It's rare that you can boil something down to one thing. But I'm going to actually swim against the current here, my own thought process on this, and I'm going to focus in on a lesson that I've learned, and then what I believe is one of the most important things that we can do. I would say it's probably the most important thing I can do to win personally and professionally. We'll come back. There's your T's. Personally and professionally. But here's the lesson. I started working at the age of, I would say, my first real serious professional job. I was 19. And I took a semester off of college to work on my first congressional race. I wanted to be in politics at the time. That was the area that I wanted to be in to serve the public. And I was on purpose, baby, and had some very early success. I ended up working for the governor of Virginia at the age of 22, left at 23 to get into the business sector. So I've now been working, I'll turn 49 later this year. So I cannot believe it. In fact, I've never even said this. I've never even thought this. Now, that's much less said it. But I've been working now for 30 years. Been a professional for 30 years. And just like the stock market kind of moves up, down, kind of like a roller coaster. But long term, the stock market's a winning play. If you look over the last 30 years, you can see that if you invested even in the highs and the lows, the big bad days where the stock market crashes, at the long term is that it's a win. Stock market's down most of 2022 and as we head into 2023, but it's down from where it was. But if you look at historically where it is, the Dow's at 30,000. It's crazy. So long term, the stock market has just continued to increase and it has made people money. All right. So that's the metaphor. So just like the stock market has its ups and downs, so does our professional life and so does our personal life, right? We have seasons where we're winning. Seasons where we're losing big time. Seasons where we're just kind of languishing, not winning, not failing, just kind of hanging on. And so I was sitting at my desk Friday evening. And it's the start of a new year, of course. And I've got big visions that have nothing to do with whatever year it is. Like I don't come up with a new vision every year. It's the same vision. Right? 100 million people. I want to tangibly prove in my lifetime that I've helped 100 million people make the difference they were born to make. That's it. That's it. That's my professional goal. Social, email list, books, training products, the whole 9 yards, media hits. That's the goal. And so the vision doesn't change. Tactics change. But you know what needs to change the most to be able to hit a goal like that, to truly be the best version of who God created me to be? You know what needs to change the most? Me. In fact, I was sitting there and I was in a reflective mode. I'd been doing some writing and I was extremely reflective. And here's what I wrote down. And I'm going to share this with you because this is the lesson of my 30-year professional career. This is how I wrote it down, so I'm going to read it to you the way I wrote it. Over my career, I have learned that when I experience growth personally, it is often followed by a breakthrough professionally. I'm not some seedy salesperson, so I want to make sure you hear what I said. When I experience growth personally, it is often, not always, but often, followed by a breakthrough professionally. In other words, you just can't have breakthrough every day. I mean, breakthrough is I'm taking new territory, I'm breaking through a wall, and then I got to go do some more stuff, right? If I'm knocking a wall down in my house and I'm renovating, I'm changing, I knocked a wall down, and eventually I'm going to have to build it somewhere else, or I'm going to do something else. So we can't have breakthrough every day. That's not realistic. That's a bunch of motivational gibberish and cotton candy. You may see a lot of that crap on social media. You're not going to get that from me. I'm going to shoot you straight. So we can't have breakthrough every day. So I want to make sure you hear this. It is often, though, when I experience some really substantive personal growth. I'm growing as a person. So what's the lesson? The lesson is simply this. Work harder on you than your job. Work harder on you than your career ambition. Work harder on you than leading someone else. Work harder on you than judging someone else. See, I can't separate Ken Coleman the person from Ken Coleman the professional. I think we try to do that. I haven't quite figured it out. Not sure why we try to do that. I don't know if it's innate to who we are as humans, where we kind of compartmentalize naturally. Well, I'm a husband to Stacy for almost 25 years. I'm a dad to Ty, Chase, and Josie, 3 teens. Y'all pray for me. I'm hoping to keep all my hair. I'm a son to Ken and Barb. I'm a brother to Jamie. I'm a friend to fill in the blank. That's who I am, but I do this job. And I understand why we do that, because let me just say that we don't want to put all of our identity, or quite frankly, any of our identity as to who we really are in the title, the job itself, or the paycheck. Because to me, the janitor is as valuable as the CEO. Can I get an amen somewhere? The school teacher is as valuable as the president of a country. There's no difference in worth. Real value. Real worth. But for some reason, we feel like, well, that's who I am. This is who I am over here, and I'm somebody else over here. No, because here's what I know. If my personal life is in shambles, I'm dragging all of that crap with me to work. And I'm trying to suppress it. I'm trying to keep it down, but it's affecting me. And if my work life is on fire, or it sucks the soul out of me, or I'm so bored that I don't even feel anything anymore, I'm dragging that home with me as well. I'm trying to medicate to stay alive. So the lesson? Work harder on you than your job. And here's what I found, and I'm going through it right now. Working on me in a couple of key areas. Really getting healthy on some stuff. Diving in. And when I do that, I know something great's going to happen. I don't know when. I don't know how. But I know why. When I work harder on me, breakthroughs happen professionally. Work hard on you. Work harder on you than your job.
Are you wondering if you should leave your current job or stay put? You're not alone. That's why we created the Should I Quit My Job quiz. In just 5 minutes or less, this quiz will help you determine if you're at the right company and if you're in the right role. If you need to make a move, you'll even get practical next steps to keep you moving forward. Listen, stuck is a choice, and life is too short not to do what you were created to do. To take the quiz, go to kencoleman.com/quiz.
right, let's talk about maybe the most crippling fear there is. So I saw an article. I'm always looking at stuff related to professional growth because I believe that professional growth is as purposeful as relationship growth. If you're new to the program, you need to know that I believe we were put on this planet to fulfill a purpose in two main areas, relationally and professionally. In other words, we were created to relate, to love, and then we were created to make a difference, work. So if I'm on purpose in my love life and I'm on purpose in my work life, I'm fulfilling my potential. I just, philosophically, I just want to just break that down real easy for everybody to understand that. I was created to love and I was created to work. You know the flip side of that that's really fun? If you were created to love, and everybody agrees with that, right? We understand that. We all have a heart. We long to be loved. We long to love others. It's the relational component of who we are. So we get that. So if we're created to love, we all go, yeah, Ken, that's right. Now, the one that freaks people out is when I say things like, you were created to work. Well, I'll tell you what, man, I ain't working for the man. People don't like that phrase, you were created to work, because we got a lot of young people that are really embracing a philosophical belief that I should only work for a small amount of time, work really, really hard, make up enough money, and then I never have to work again. It's called FIRE. Financially independent, retire early. It's a thoughtful position. It's thoughtful. I get it. Makes a lot of sense. I don't want to have to just go in for a job and work 40 years. What if I really bust it, work myself to the nub, and I make up enough money and I invest it, and then I just go do whatever I want to do? It's a very, very interesting perspective. It's not complete because, again, we long to contribute. So go try it. Go retire early for 4 or 5 years and do nothing but play shuffleboard and, watch soap operas and everything else. And I'm going to tell you something else. You're going to be clamoring to do something. So even for people who retire, if they are active in doing something, even on a volunteer level, you would be then meeting that need to contribute. All right. So the idea of understanding that I need to contribute, and if I don't contribute, and I don't make that difference, it drives the desire to always be making a difference. And you just know. Now, here's what comes with that same innate. And the reason I share this is this human desire to make a difference, to work and to love. You should love to work. But people freak out when you say that. Well, if I love the contribution, or I love the people that I'm helping, or I love solving this problem, or I love this solution, now we can start to see some real positive emotion. Now, here's what's on the other side of that. If you can connect with that and go, okay, I get it. That's why my heart longs to make a difference, just like my heart longs to love people. Now watch what happens. I know I'm getting really philosophical, but this is so practical. I long to do it, so that means it's pulling me forward. This desire is pulling me forward, same as in love, as in contribution or work. But if I long to love someone or to be loved, or I long to make a difference in the world, I get pulled and my eyes are up and I'm looking for that person to love me. I'm looking for that person to love. And I'm looking for an opportunity to make a contribution. Guess what happens? Now, all of a sudden, it means I'm looking out, I'm looking forward, and it gets a little scary. Why? Because of the number one fear in the world, the most paralyzing fear on the planet, the fear of the unknown. Stay with me here. I'm digging. I'm going deeper. if I longed to be loved, and I did, I wanted to get married. I wanted to have kids. It was all I thought about in my early 20s. I was like, man, I want to find the right woman for me. God's put a big vision on my life, and I could see it, and I want to achieve it, but I also want to be loved, and I want to love. Well, guess what? Who is it? Who's the girl? Who's the woman? I got to pick one. Hope she picks me, right? The unknown is what makes love so scary. And let me take you all back. For me, it was elementary school. I don't know if kids do this anymore. They don't use pencils or pens. But in my day, saw a cute little girl in the class, made eyes at her, ran around her, teased her on the playground, whatever, trying to get her attention. Does she notice me? I get to the classroom and I pull out a pencil, piece of paper, and I wrote down, do you like me? 3 boxes. Yes, no, or maybe. You fold it up. You have your buddy deliver it. Or if you're really brave, you hand it to her. She opens it up. She reads it. What's going on? What's going on in our hearts? What's happening there? Fear. I don't know what she's going to say. It starts early. That's love. Well, you want to talk about making a difference in the lives of other people, starting a business, or becoming a doctor, or a lawyer, or a teacher, a scientist. I don't care. You just feel we begin as young people to begin to think about contribution we want to make. And the fear of the unknown is paralyzing. What school? What degree? How much is it going to cost? How long will it take? The fear of the unknown paralyzes us. Judson Brewer is a psychiatrist that I saw quoted in this article that made me think about this today to want to teach on this. The fear of the unknown. He said our brains don't like uncertainty. The article, which I'm not going to cover the data, but this is all coming about because it said 93% of Americans have experienced anxiety about their job interviews. Nobody wants to listen to me talk about job interviews. I'm going to talk about why 93% of Americans have anxiety. It comes back to that fun little story of me in elementary school. Because when you're in a job interview, or you are selling a product, or you are launching a business, or you're doing anything where you put yourself out there. Come on. I'm talking to your heart right now. The fear of the unknown. I don't know if they're going to love me. I don't know if they're going to buy it. I don't know if they're going to hire me. I don't know if the company's going to work. I don't know. 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 And that will lock your head and heart up to where you will languish, paralyzed. The fear of the unknown. It's a brutal fear. So what have I learned? I have to ask specifically, what is it that I do not think I know or know that I know? And I write it down. I don't know if she's going to check the box yes. So you know what I should have done in 3rd grade? To my pals, hey, listen, I need to go talk to Sally over there and just ask her straight up if she likes me. Then it wouldn't be so fearful to do the note if I knew she liked me. But if I know she doesn't like me, I won't give her the note. What are we doing here? We're digging into the specific things we don't think we know or we know and go get answers.
If the thought of attending a networking event makes you break out in hives, you're not alone. And I'll let you in on a secret. Networking in the traditional sense doesn't work, but genuine connection is all about relationships. That's why we created Networking the Right Way. This free guide is the low-pressure, high-impact way to overcome the awkwardness, build real relationships, and turn your connections into opportunities. To get the guide, go to kencoleman.com/network.
All right, folks, one of the elements of the show is where we coach you up. It's an Ask Me Anything segment, if you will. And we're going to be doing more of that in different ways, via video, via email, via Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Ken Coleman. That would be a lot of fun. Very engaging over there. I'm getting more engaged. So I'm asking you, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook. I am engaging. I am there. Some people say sometimes, Ken, is that you commenting? Yes. 99.9% of the time it is yes. And so I want to coach you. I'm here to help you. I am accessible. 844-747-2577 is the number, 844-747-2577. Just a little thing to point out that I didn't expect. I'm going to share it a little bit later in the program. Not going to share it now. We got to get to a phone call, but I'm noticing something and I've got to share it. Mark is on the line in Monterey, California. Mark, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hello, Ken. Thank you so much for taking my call.
You bet, Mark. How can I help?
Well, talking about fear of the unknown, Ken, I was tired of fear of the unknown, and I just busted through. So I just quit my very well-paying job to start my own business after reading From Paycheck to Purpose. I am someone who always jumps straight into the deep end. So essentially, my question is, I saved up a good amount of savings. I've been listening to you and Uncle Dave for a very long time, and I have about 8 months of savings where I could pay all my bills and literally make nothing. Obviously, that's not hopefully is what's going to happen. But do you think it would be wise if I do get something maybe part-time just to kind of help, not burn up all my savings?
Yes.
Or do you think I should be working 12, 15 hours a day on my own gig to work it up faster?
What's the gig? What's the business?
So I'm a registered dietitian, and I have been a clinical dietitian in hospitals for a lot of years. Okay. And my purpose and passion, I believe, is to help people not get into the hospital. So I'm transitioning into the preventative stage, and I've always really, really, really loved just talking to people one-on-one and in groups.
So the model is
consulting.
Okay, so it's consulting with individuals in a coaching forum?
Individuals and groups. Mm-hmm.
Well, what would the groups consist of? Is that like a company would sign you up to do this for their employees as a wellness program, or what?
Yeah, so that, and through my personal company I'm starting, also setting up different group consulting, gotcha. Weight loss or muscle gain.
So here's why I'm asking that, because I have to know this to be able to give you the advice.
Okay.
This is basically going to come down to hourly rates and group rates. I mean, it's for your time, so it's going to take a little while to line up customers, or do you already have some lined up to where you're making revenue from day one?
I have a few, but maybe about 6 or 7.
Okay, and so how much revenue are they generating? On a monthly basis, give me a ballpark.
About 1,000 right now.
All told together, $1,000 a month?
You're right.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I would have told you not to jump into this full time, and the good news is you can now. But here's the good news: you can edit this response. Right? You just went. I read Paycheck to Purpose. I'm grateful that you read my book. I would have told you, let's launch this on the side to where it's not a conflict of interest, and then let's get 6 to 12 months of your existing income in the bank of the now self-employed dietitian business. Okay. Then I would have not jumped. It's not a jump at that point. It's a nice stroll. I've got a pipeline and I've got income. Right now, you do have savings, which is good. But I wish that money had been in the bank account of your side hustle, not your personal bank account. Right. So, so what I would do is make sure if you're debt free, the way we teach, baby step 2, baby step 3, I'd have the 6 months emergency fund. I wouldn't touch the 6 months or 3 months. Anything above and beyond that you can use, but I would be working full-time contracted, because the bottom line is you're going to have to build your clientele, and that's going to be you busting it, word of mouth, on the pavement, talking to people, connecting to people, and that's going to take a certain amount of time. But you can do a lot of that after hours. I'd be looking at part-time to full-time work until you got that built up enough to where it's at least half of what you're making. You know, so essentially building a bridge, not jumping off with, a parachute. Thanks for the call, Mark. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
According to Glassdoor, the average job offer attracts over 250 applicants. If you've made it to the interview, you've already made a great impression. So now is the time to showcase how you are the best choice for the role. That's why we created How to Win the Interview. This free guide will walk you through the 5 strategies to help you stand out amongst the competition. With just some intentionality, you can prepare yourself to win the interview. Go to kencoleman.com/interview.
Coaching you so that you can make the difference you were born to make. I'm Ken. This is the Ken Coleman Show. Gary's up in Pensacola, Florida. Gary, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, how you doing?
I am living the dream, Gary. What are you doing?
I am hopefully going to live the dream.
I promise you are. I like that hoping. Now let's get to the doing part.
Yes, sir.
What's up?
I'm calling in. I took the Get Clear career assessment, and have completed that, and I've been doing some thinking and pondering based on that, and a possible career path has come to mind that was kind of out of left field, and it was never, my dream job growing up or anything like that. So it's kind of out of left field, and I'm just kind of looking for some clarity to kind of
what is it?
I guess maybe a little reassurance. Life coaching.
Yeah. And when you say came out of left field, do you just simply mean it's not something you had thought of before? It didn't feel left field, did it?
Right. It's nothing I never thought of before. It just came to mind.
But when it came to mind, how did it feel? Did it feel weird, left field, or did it feel 50-yard line, baby, right in the middle of your chest? That's what I'm asking.
It felt more like 50-yard line.
That a boy. Now, here's what happens. That's the heart. So the heart confirms it. Now the head's going, well, crap. How am I going to get up that mountain? Is that what's going on?
No, not so much the mountain. I've checked into what I would need to do and the requirements and everything like that. I guess my concern is I don't want to start going down this path because I'm a little bit of an analytical person. I like to, have, some options and dig into those options and move forward with the best options.
You just you like confidence, and you said it at the start of the call. You said, Ken, I need some assurance.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be very clear, because I'm an analytical person too. Boy, oh boy, do I get in my head. Yikes, it's scary in there, man. Okay? Listen, Gary, I'm talking to me. You and I are very much alike, and that's why I cut you off, because I feel like I need to grab you by the shoulder and go, Gary, from a recovering overanalyzer, Lord have mercy, it's exhausting inside my head. What I have to do when I get in that thinking, there's 2 things I do. I need to get it out of my head. I got to get these swirl of thoughts out of my head, and I got to go to somebody who knows me well enough to know if I'm being neurotic. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got those people in your life, yes or no?
Yes.
All right. So I get it out of my head, and I go, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. And then they're objective, and they can give me some what I call grounding. And so it's just truth. It's observation. They know. They've heard it all before. I mean, Alex, you and I've worked long enough together now. If I came to you and said, man, I'm in my head on this. I need to know, is any of this real? What is it? And it's just like the ability to go, hey, I got to get this out. There's safety there. And then here's what happens on the other side of the safety. Safety in revealing what I'm thinking and I'm overanalyzing, or am I actually doing some really solid thinking here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Safety. It's not all on me.
Mm-hmm.
No risk here. Now, on the other side of that is what you called me for today, which is confidence. The word assurance is just it's just another fancy word less used for the word confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me think of my old church days, the old song, Blessed Assurance. And you're just looking for some confidence. So that's why I asked you the question, how did it feel? So there's no thinking involved here. How did it feel when the idea popped in your head? And you said, and we used the word 50-yard line. It wasn't out of nowhere, weird, crazy. It was like, man, that's it. So now let's just dive deeper into your heart, Gary, because I'm going to be your guy today, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What draws you most to the idea of coaching somebody to win in their life? Forget the circumstances. I don't want to get down in the weeds. But the idea of you getting in somebody's life and you help them, man, with light bulbs, and then you see real progress. What draws you to that?
Well, it's a little bit of my experience and knowing that, people or some people are capable of more than what they're currently doing.
What's your experience? Give it to me in the audience in 30 seconds. What's your story?
Just going through the past couple of years of a lot of self-development and therapy and growth and overcoming, some childhood issues that have been kind of limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
And kind of shedding those and letting
Who helped
true
you?
stuff come out.
Who helped you? Name them. Give me a first name.
Multitude of people.
Give me a couple names. I want you to say it. It's for you and the audience. Say their name.
Jay Shetty and Rob Dial.
Great. Those guys are from afar. Who else helped you in your world? Like hit you? They were in your life helping you.
My wife.
Who else?
My son. My son. He's challenged me to grow and be the best version of myself so I can be there for him the way that he deserves.
Wow. Is there a therapist or another person in your life that's not direct family that really spoke into you, coached you along the way?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. The reason that this is appealing to you is because you have come out of extreme pain. Is that fair to say?
Correct, yes.
And you're on the other side of it, and you're not only healing, now you're actively evolving and growing. Is that also a true statement?
Yes.
So you want to give that to somebody else, don't you?
Yes.
Because you know it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that you just know it's possible. It's actually you know that at times it feels as though it's impossible. Is that true?
Yes, definitely.
You got that confidence now?
I believe so.
Yeah. Because it's not what you will say all the time. Sometimes it will be, Gary. But it will be how you say it. And it will be why.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
Yeah.
I think you're going to develop some good stuff, some good tactics, and you're going to study and you're going to go get trained and be a good life coach. And I think the what will be important, but understand that, Gary, what will make you successful, and remember, success is not about achievement. It's about contribution.
Right.
What will make you successful, Gary, is how you say it, because you're going to be speaking from experience, from past pain that you can remember, but you won't feel.
Right.
And then it will be why you're saying it. And they will see it all over you. They'll see that why you're coaching is because you overcame extreme pain. So just remember that, my friend. It's not so much what we say. It doesn't have to be eloquent. I'm not even sure I can spell eloquent. I think it's a QU on the end there. It's not about eloquence. It's not about fancy points. And I'm a guy that likes eloquence, quite frankly. Maybe I try too hard sometimes there. I love coming up with 4 or 5 points. I love coming up with content. It keeps me up at night. At the end of the day, I have to remember that the ability for all of us to connect to somebody to make a difference in their life, no matter what the gig is less about what we do, whether it's a nurse, a lawyer, a scientist, a school teacher. It's less about the what, but it's the how we connect with them and why. People buy the how and the why.
Right, because your heart's in it.
100%. So, Gary, I'm going to leave you to go be you. I think you got all the confidence in the world because you're uniquely you. And for the rest of the audience, I want to remind you, if Gary inspired you, if that conversation inspired, if you like this show, whether you're listening on podcasts or watching on YouTube, you are the number one reason that we're growing, and we need you to keep growing. You're the greatest marketing strategy in the world by liking, sharing, subscribing. Would you do it? Thank you so very much. Hey, you know where to find me. I'm here to help. Press on.
Thanks for listening to The Ken Coleman Show. For more, you can find the show on demand wherever you listen to podcasts and watch the show on YouTube. You can also find Ken across all social media by following @Ken Coleman.